Okay, today we're going to do a drawing of a building. You're going to need a ruler. Turn your paper so it goes vertically. This is going to be basically what our finished product looks like, similar to it. So, first step, we need to draw a horizon line. So, somewhere on your paper, you can make it down towards in the middle is fine for right now. We'll just stick it in the middle. Put your horizon line. Remember to draw lightly so that you don't have to erase. It's your horizon line. Okay, now you need two vanishing points. One on this end and one on this end. Two vanishing points. Remember, this is where all lines converge. Okay, to start off, we need to do the corner of the building. So, I want a 5-inch line over towards the left side of your paper, not directly in the middle. I want over towards the left. Make sure it goes vertical, straight up and down, 4 inches above, 1 inch below. So a 5-inch line, 4 inches above, 1 inch below the horizon. Okay, next step. Connect the top to the vanishing point on the left, and connect the top to the vanishing point on the right. That's the top of our building. Next, we're going to do from the bottom to the vanishing point on the left, and from the bottom to the vanishing point on the right. So here's the corner of my building. Here's the bottom of the building. Here's the top of the building. Bottom of the building, top of the building. Now, this side over here, you're not going to see much, so I need a vertical line right over here, from top to bottom. Remember, you're drawing the pencil lines lightly, especially this time because we're going to go over it in charcoal later. This side, I want to see more, so I'm going to make this go further back. About there. So, here's one side of the building and the other side of the building that we can see. Now, since this is at our eye level, you cannot see the top, the roof, and you cannot see underneath. So you only see the two sides, the left side and the right side. Now we're going to draw in some windows. Windows follow the same lines, must also go to the vanishing points, because they're going to be on the same line. So, let's start out, you need a vertical line for a window. Let's make it about 3/4 of an inch long. 3/4 of an inch is right here. This is 3/4 of an inch. Now, connect from the top of that line to the vanishing point. On the left side, since I'm working on the left side, this line is going to go to the left side. In the bottom of that window to the left vanishing point. Now let's close off that window. So move over a little bit, close it off. Now let's put a second window in that same, using those same lines. So another vertical line a little bit further away to start it. And close it off. So I have 2 windows now. And I'll darken them in so you can see them. Please don't darken yours in yet, just darkening these in so you can see them. Remember I said we're going to do charcoal and show you everything. So right now I'm just darkening so you can see there's 1, 2 windows. Okay, now I'm going to extend this vertical line down so we can do another one. These windows are going to line up because this is like an office building or a department store. Really, we're making this a department store. So I'm going to extend these vertical lines that I drew so I make sure they're all lined up. I draw them lightly because I don't want to have to worry about it later. And now I'm going to pick a spot that little bit down and connect to my vanishing point on the left. And I'm going to pick another spot. I'm not just going to pick, I'm going to do another 3/4 inch down. So right here. And draw to my vanishing point on the left. So this length from here to here is 3/4 inch. So now I have 2 more windows that line up with the other 2. Okay, now let's do 1 more set of windows. So drop down a little bit. Draw to the vanishing point on the left. Measure 3/4 inch down. Connect from that point to the left vanishing point. And there are 2 more windows. So we have 6 windows on that side. These are all above the horizon line. So all of these lines kind of angle this direction. Okay? Now, we need to put some windows on this side of the building. So, I'm going to start out up here. Oh, I'm going to extend these lines so I make sure they line up. If you didn't draw all the way to your corner, go ahead and do so. If you didn't draw all the way to the corner of your building, go ahead and do so. So you can make sure the windows line up. Now where the corner meets this line, I'm going to connect to the right vanishing point because now I'm working on the right side. Remember to draw lightly so that they'll disappear when you go to shade. If you get a little bit off, just redraw it. Connect all of these lines where my windows were lined up to the right vanishing point. Now we're going to draw our vertical lines. Come in a little bit from the corner and you draw vertical lines to start your windows. Come over a little bit further Close off your windows with vertical lines. Slide a little bit farther over. Start another group of windows. Remember, you are drawing lightly, so if you make a mistake, just redraw it. Don't worry about erasing. Okay, I've got 2 sets of windows so far. I'm going to do a third one here. So this side is bigger, so I'm going to do a third set of windows. And it looks like I can get a 4th set in. I'm going to darken these in so you can start to see where the windows are. And then I'll add my 4th set in. Okay, now we need to do one more set here. Windows. Looks like I got something a little crooked, didn't I? But I think it's my vertical line right here. It's crooked. My edge of my building is crooked. So I'll just fix that by redrawing it. That looks a lot better now. Okay, next, I need to put some doors in this building, otherwise you can't enter the building. So down here, we're going to draw a 1-inch line from the bottom, vertically straight up and down. Then from the top there, I'm going to connect to which side am I on? I'm on the left side, so that means, or the right side, so I'm connecting to the right vanishing point. I draw all the way over to the vanishing point. Now I'm going to make these double doors. So I'm going to move a little bit over. I'm going to draw a vertical line, make sure it's straight up and down the best you can. Compare it to the edge of the paper. Then I'm going to slide over again and make another vertical line. So there's my double doors. And we can add a little fancy detail. We can give it a little arch at the top here. Once we have that line in there for the doors, that angle there, and this angle here, then we can add the arch in. Notice that it narrows as it gets away from you. This is closest to you. This corner is closest to you. So this narrows as it gets farther away. The windows all narrow as they get further away. Now let's draw a sidewalk. Sidewalk goes right up next to the building, right? So I'm going to reline up to the bottom of this building, and I'm going to draw a line out this way some. And I'm going to realign up my bottom of the building on the right side and extend that line out. Remember to draw lightly. And then, just decide how wide you want your sidewalk to be. Line up the vanishing point on the left and draw a line. Same with the right side. Pick how wide you want your sidewalk to be, and you just draw a line. Okay? So here's my sidewalk. Now we're going to give it the space between the cement. So, you can see I've already gotten started here. I'll darken it a little bit so you can see it better. There's my first block of cement. Now let's make another block of cement on the left-hand side. Now this is where it gets a little confusing. I got to go from this point over here on the left to the right vanishing point. And it's not going to go through the building, so you can stop there. And then I'm going to move back some, and I'm going to do it again. And if I don't like that one, I should have drawn it wide enough that I don't have to erase, but I'm going to erase it. Sometimes they get this whole length here. No, that's too long. But it's too far back. It was too far forward. So I'm going to move it back a little bit. That's better. Now I'll darken it so you can see it. And my sidewalk is going to go past my building, so I'm going to do some more. Right back here. Now what happens as they get further away from you, they seem to be getting smaller, right? Okay. Now we're going to go over to the right side part of the sidewalk, and we're going to go to the left vanishing point. Right part of the sidewalk goes to the left vanishing point. Okay, so we got almost our sidewalk is done. Almost all our sidewalk is done. Now, a sidewalk has thickness, so we need to give it some thickness. So just a tiny little vertical line. You can make it about 1/4 of an inch thick. That'll be plenty thick. Vertical straight up and down. Slide this over so you can see it. Sorry, I got out of it. And from the bottom to the left vanishing point, and from the bottom to the right vanishing point. Okay. Now, where those cement blocks ended, we need vertical lines there. Go through and put vertical lines wherever you had your cement block lines for the diagonals. Now you should start to see your sidewalk. Now let's add a sign. We'll make this Sears. So I'm going to put a Sears sign up at the top here. So I'm going to draw a vertical line at the top here. I'm on the right side, so I'm going to draw to the right vanishing point. Remember to draw lightly so it'll disappear. And now I'm going to lightly write in the word Sears. I'm going to make it block lettering. Now my E should go vertical, so I'm going to use my ruler here. It should be fairly close to the S. So just a little bit there. Okay, then I need an A. My R is that one line of the R is vertical, so I need to make that vertical again. Notice I go right on that line that I drew for the, to connect to the vanishing point. And I need an S. So all lettering goes all along that line. And if we want an arch on that, we can put a little arch on it. Now that we got it finished off. And I need a vertical line to end the sign. Okay, now we're ready to shape. The light is going to come from the above and from the right. So my right side is going to be lighter than my left side. Okay? So, take your charcoal pencil and start out on the corner here. The left side is going to be darker, so start with that side. Don't make it black though, just darker. Shade it in. Now with charcoal, you're going to get messy. Try not to smear your charcoal out of where you want it. But if you want to smear, you can with charcoal. I will allow you to smear with charcoal. You have to use your fingers to smear. I'm going to get it all covered first. Do not color in the windows yet. Just do the side of the building. Take your time when you get near the corner. Make sure you get keep your nice clean edges. Same with the windows. Don't want to cross over into the windows. You want to keep those nice clean edges. Don't need to press very hard. Charcoal will get dark fairly quickly. So take some practice with the charcoal. That's why we're doing this. Now if you smear it, it's going to get lighter. So then you might have to go back in and add more. See, it's starting to get lighter just by me smearing it because some of it gets on my finger. Depends on what kind of texture you want. Do you want a smooth texture? Do you want a rough texture? How much smearing do you want to do? Go back in and darken it just a little bit. Make sure I got all the way up to the edges of the windows without going out. Those are the edges. more layers I do, the less smearing I have to do, because you'll start to see it all blend together a little bit. So there's my dark side. Now this is lighter. It's a medium, because the light's coming from above and the right. So we're going to do a medium shade. So very lightly let the charcoal pencil touch. Doesn't have to be solid, just give it some value. Very lightly let it touch. You don't need to make it very dark because this has to be lighter than this side. This is the lighter side. Make sure you don't cross into your windows. Make sure you go all the way to the edge of your windows. We're going to do some more work to your windows too. Now if you drew your lines light enough, they soon start to disappear here. And you just end up with a nice, when you're doing your shading right, you end up with a nice corner. Darken this side just a little bit more, just to make sure I define that edge. Your charcoal lines do not all have to go the same direction. Notice that I keep changing my directions. Do a little smearing down here. Notice I did not go over my windows or my door. We'll get to that in a few minutes here. It doesn't have to be exactly the same value all the way across as long as it's a medium. My letters from the series. Now, if I put my hand down on this, I'm going to get all black right here. So I'm going to turn it upside down. And I'm going to make my letters for Sears dark. And darken those in. If I don't follow my lines exactly, I'm not going to worry about it. It's close enough. Okay, and the background is going to be a medium. I'm going to shade over this whole thing in a medium. And see, now my lines disappear. Okay, so there's my Sears. Now, the windows. The windows are above us. So, when they're above us, you can see a little bit of the ledge at the top. So I'm going to darken in up top here. give it some thickness. And since I'm on the left side, I can see a little bit of the left side of the window. So you can see the top and the left on each of these windows. Basically just following your line, making them almost black. If you're afraid you're going to get your hand in the charcoal, get an extra scratch piece of paper and put it underneath your hand. It'll keep it clean. As long as you keep that scratch paper on. Turn your paper if you need to. Do a little work with it. Whatever it takes. On the right side, you're going to see the top and the right of each window. So we're going to give the top some thickness and the right some thickness of each one of these. Now the windows also have glass, so they have a little reflections. You put little ones on there for reflections. Nothing real dark. And the door will make it a little bit darker than the wall. Between, I'm going to make my line a little bit darker, make sure it shows up. Don't forget your arch. Smear it across and it will look solid then, a little more solid. This side over here isn't getting much light, so I'm going to darken that in. And I'm going to darken this bottom so that it looks like it goes in. And make sure that right side is nice and dark, so it looks like it's 3D. All that's left is the sidewalk. Sidewalk is usually white, so it's going to be lighter than the building. This side is going to be darker though than this side because the light's coming from the right. So you can darken in your lines in between the cement. Then go ahead and do a little shading. It gets darker near the building and then lighter as you go farther away. You can smooth it out. Down here it's not getting much light, so it'll be darker. Kind of a gray bed. Don't forget to darken in your vertical lines. Over here it's going to be fairly light, except for your spaces between. Probably what's on your finger could smear it out enough. Down here it's going to be a little bit darker. building. Okay. I know, it's okay. It's okay. Kendall did that this morning too. It's okay.